last time I saw Yoo-Hoo was at the Warp Tour.
I love Yoo-Hoo, man. It's a beverage. Every single store I walk into and see it, it literally beckons to me.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. You are watching Midweek Geeks. My name is Leo. You know who I am. And we'll kick it off with Jar Jar.
Hey, it's Wednesday night. It's Midweek Geeks.
Woo. Or should we say yoo-hoo, yo-yo?
No one told me we're having a cook-off, so I mean, I'm very ill-prepared.
Powerful Brandon.
I'm missing the cook-off. Yeah, I mean, I would have been actually far more excited to be here tonight if I had known there was any sort of cook-off involved. I've not had ribs in far too long.
And Kari.
Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I brought the wine. These guys brought the cheese.
Oh.
I need to bring the drums back.
I didn't realize you ever got rid of them.
Yeah, I swapped out my mixer.
They're on strike.
Yeah.
Feels like a
Strike.
hefty oversight on your part, Leo.
Well, I was getting that. You know how every now and then you could hear a music station over me talking?
Yes, I remember that a little while ago. It was happening.
No, I
just your
don't.
side gig.
But for the sake of moving the conversation along, yes.
Where was I going with that?
Wow, it was such a solid story. It's surprising that it derailed so quickly. You were basically like, well, you see, Brandon, I know that you just said, like, clearly I'm the one to blame for not having this sound available to me when I am lamenting its absence amongst my new sound equipment. But here's an excuse I'm going to give you anyway as to why that has not been corrected since my new sound equipment was purchased and set up.
I lied.
That's the long and short of it. You know, TLDR.
Okay, then.
Did I nail it?
You did.
Like, boom.
So what do we got for news this week?
All sorts of stuff, right?
Oh, just let me know when we go live.
We Expendables 4.
What?
Why?
What happened to 1, 2, and 3?
They're out already, but the
Really? Are you sure about that, Leo? I don't know, but is it in the same section of the store that has the Shazam Genie movie starring the Sinbad fellow? I clearly remember it. Okay, what's the plot of the movie? That's not important right now.
It was a genie.
It's funny how that's never an important part of the conversation whenever it comes up.
I've seen it.
I've seen that movie. What's the plot of it? Oh, so it's the exact plot of Kazam?
Yeah, with Shaquille O'Neal.
No, it's my thing is no, my thing is different, and you just don't get it. Shut up. That's.
I'm
Are
sorry.
you okay there?
I'm
I
sorry.
haven't watched
I
that, but
thought-
I'm still laughing.
I couldn't possibly have been a very young age and had a misremembrance of something along with numerous other people in my same generation. No. That is insane.
It's
This
the
is
Mandela
clearly
effect.
an alternate reality in which we live where that is different. Yeah, all right. Occam's razor, baby. Occam's razor. Simplest is usually the right one or best one.
I know the first Expendables was fun, but the rest I haven't seen. So it is a fun idea. Like,
Yeah,
these-
the name of those movies, the sequels, I mean, it's just
yeah,
it's hard. It really toes the line for being ironic / unironic. Like the Expendables 2 and 3, like, yeah, get it because they're useless sequels. So so I mean, it's sort of like self-fulfilling prophecy at that point. I mean, the Expendables 4 is is it going to be released in theaters?
Oh, that's a good question.
I believe so.
Wow, because I would have thought for sure it would have been like the Expendables 4 mission to direct DVD.
There's a writer's strike going on.
Yeah,
Not
we just
a-
have
I mean, then
Not a lot
what
of
happened
stuff
with
is-
the last two movies? If they're going to blame the writer's strike,
yeah, there wasn't a strike when those ones were made.
All right, you win.
That's right, kids. Just when you thought the quality couldn't nosedive any further, we've yet to hit bedrock. Yee.
Was that it?
Okay.
was
Just
that
the-
really why he
Stopping
was
there.
like
No. I mean, since obviously we're not interested in that, there was a new.
he was though?
Hey, you know what? Honestly,
He
Leo,
made that the title.
I'm a fan
the
of
main
this
photo.
tactic. I'm a fan of this tactic, Leo. I love starting off like just running through a list of items that you know are just absolutely fuck all interest to anybody sitting on the show and potentially the audience themselves, just to get the fucking reaction of why the fuck do we care about this? Because, like, honestly, the Expendables 4, that's my gut instinct is why the fuck do we care about this? In other news, a movie was given a production budget and is going to start shooting. That's essentially the same thing you said to me, only the Expendables as a title makes me care even less.
Yeah, before he could have said, "Hey, what movie are they making?"
Well,
Yeah,
Now it's like,
it's-
shit.
It's the Expendables 4. Okay, next topic.
well, the trailer did just drop today, so if you're interested in checking it out,
Oh
obviously,
wow, they already have a trailer for it.
yeah,
That's
that trailer.
since they just greenlit it last week. It's just footage of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone in their backyards.
Drinking beer.
There was a new Nick Cage trailer that dropped today as well.
Oh, for what?
Well, hold on. A new Nick Cage trailer.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait. Just like a trailer
Cage,
announcing
the trailer.
Nick Cage.
I mean, it is Nick Cage though, so it wouldn't be too much.
Yeah.
Just footage of Nick Cage like fucking checking to see if avocados are just ripe enough for him to buy at the grocery store.
It's just the one where he's a
you've
redhead.
seen it all.
I need a softer
Nick
one.
Cage buys a very small nip of Jim Beam. Oh, all right, cool. Where's that going? Oh, he apparently gave it as a gag gift to somebody working on a set that he's on. Okay, never mind. He doesn't have any problems. We're fine. He just spent way too much money on comic books and houses.
And dinosaur heads.
Yeah.
Well, he bought the haunted Lalaurie place, so that's what did him in, really.
Man, guys,
Well,
I
you-
wonder if I had that kind of money, what kind of stupid shit I would buy.
keep wondering, buddy.
Oh yeah, it ain't happening.
Wandering's free, so tuck that tip away for later.
Leo, I'm assuming you're talking about where he plays the devil and he has red hair in it.
Yes, sympathy.
I skipped over that in my horror news, but yeah.
Sympathy for the devil, and it looks like he's just like torturing this one guy in a car ride from hell.
Is he just yelling at him, or
just
got
watching really bad Nick Cage movies the whole time?
Like, I want to know: is he trying to play like classy, sadistic devil, or is he going full blown chewing scenery, camp as fuck, jumping around in a red leotard, poking somebody with a red plastic pitchfork, going, ah!
It seems devil. Like it's a mixture of both.
Like, I'm the devil, ah! Like that, not like, hey, I'm gonna like torture you and stuff.
So another real quick while we're there, another sequel in horror has been released. They are doing Hocus Pocus 3. They have announced.
Really?
Disney Plus is doing it. Yeah.
Finally,
they announced it on Sunday.
Hocus Pocus
Everybody's
Tokyo
been
Drift.
waiting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm really getting sad by all you people going out and watching these movies. Like, stop it. Like, let some of these fail. Just because we have great nostalgia for like Hocus Pocus 1 doesn't mean we need a Hocus Pocus 2 or 3 or 14 or even Beetlejuice 2.
I mean, they waited 30 years to make the sequel, and then they're like, oh, 1 year later, we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
And
the second verse, same as the first.
Kind of like,
it could get better, but it's probably going to be worse.
Yep. And honestly, what ever happened to straight to DVD?
They don't know if this is going to come out, or it might just go straight to Disney Plus. They don't even know
a lot of money on physical.
And the girls are going to be in it. Well, not
Hocus Pocus 3 is. I don't know why.
So they're like, we're going to make a movie. We have no clue who's going to be in it, but we're going to make this.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we have some sets built.
We still have these left over.
We still have like 3/4 of a set from that fucking Halloween Town bullshit on the old channel. So like we can fucking do something, I'm sure. We didn't even film the second one in Salem. What? Oregon? Why the fuck would we film a witch movie in Salem, Oregon? I don't know, because we're in California. It's the fucking closest Salem to us. Yeah, but Massachusetts is the witch town. Hey, listen, Bernie, I fucking joined this to be a teamster, not an expert on geography.
My face hurts already.
Oh, I'm so glad I'm drinking for this one.
I'm having fun. I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else. I'm enjoying myself, though. Good times. Great. Good stuff, Brandon. Thank you, Brandon.
What else did you have, Kari?
Okay, I got a couple more things in horror real quick. Psycho, The Lost Tapes of Ed Gein docuseries is coming to MGM Plus in September, and it's just going to be another fun true crime, throwing everything together. Yay, check it out. It sounds like it's going to be pretty decent as far as production and what they're covering. I'm not going to dive deeply into that. People who don't know who he is, he was the inspiration for Norman Bates, Leatherface, Buffalo Bill.
Great Blind Melon song.
And also, he was the inspiration for my upcoming leather belt nipple line.
I'll make a shoehorn out of your shin.
I still don't
make a lampshade of durable skin.
How many nipples do you need to make a belt?
Depends on how wide you are.
So many nipples.
Yeah, are they pepperoni nipples or are they dime nipples?
That would also factor the not just like the size and quantity, of course, would factor in altogether. But also, I really feel like, you know, natural pigmentation before the curing process is really going to be a deciding factor on altogether the look you're trying to pull.
Well, I mean, you know, he only killed a couple of people. Most of his acquisitions were from grave robbing, so he kind of could have just.
Yeah, so just like he was an okay bloke.
You know, just go around. I mean, as far as like coming up with materials, he didn't have to necessarily go. He could just open it up and say, "Nah, move on to the next one."
I don't know, man. It seems like he should have worked a little harder for it. You know what they say? No pain, no gain.
He was into getting them to gain. But anyway, next up, they have given on season 2, Jenna Ortega is now a producer on Wednesday, and they have decided to get rid of the romance and lean into the horror. They thought that was just kind of stupid. It's lighthearted in a show like this with vampires and werewolves and superpowers. You don't want to take yourself too seriously. So they want to move into horror. They're letting her get in on all of the costumings, the scripts, and all of that stuff.
I thought Wednesday only wore one costume.
For the other people.
What happened?
A lot of people think a lot of things about what Wednesday should or should not do or be or wear or say or think.
Yeah,
clearly some of the things that I think are in diametric opposition to what Tim Burton,
I may eventually have to watch
Miles
this
Miller,
show.
and Alfred Goff believe.
Yeah, Tim Burton she just kind of kept putting herself there, and saying like, yeah, I want to change this. I think this is this. And so finally Tim Burton was like, fine, you're a producer. Come on, sit in on all the conversations. Let's do it.
Not to mention, it's the most successful thing that Tim Burton's been a part of in fucking a dog's age.
Yes.
You got that too.
Yeah. Meh. I just say meh. Like, I don't know. They're gonna. I mean, listen. I'm not all for CWing up all kinds of shows. I mean, it is a show about teenagers, so there is like the pitfalls of that.
Yeah.
But you know, the whole thing about the Addams Family once again is like that weird balance of the macabre. You know, there's the bitter and the sweet. So you have it right there. Like, you know, you see how weird and kind of creepy they all can be, but then you all see you see how they all like love each other very much, like as a family, and so on and so forth. It just seems to me like negating aspects like that within the framework of what the Addams Family world is supposed to be and focusing on horror is not really what the Addams Family and that whole world is about.
More the supernatural route.
Yeah, that doesn't jive with me. They already did that too much in the first season for me. So like I'm all set with season 2. Good luck to them all. I mean, I hope everyone goes forward from season 2 and finds success in other things, because I truly want season 2 to fail horribly and miserably so everyone learns their goddamn lesson.
See, I have 2 fans in the house, so I think I'm going to have to break down and start watching it just to see what. Oh, go ahead, Kari.
Go ahead, Kari.
No, I was just saying I have not watched it either. Yeah.
Oh.
But
it's just not good. It's just not. It's not good.
That's why I've not watched it.
I took Latin for 3 years in high school, so I'm not like well versed in Spanish, but I do believe our friends in Spain and our Spanish speaking friends in Mexico and Central America would definitely call it a bag of shit.
I think that's the Spanish term.
Yeah. Sabor de mierda. Tastes like shit. The flavor of shit. Yeah.
I just don't have the interest.
If Wednesday were an ice cream flavor, it would be pralines and dick.
I don't think we know how much you dislike this, Brandon.
Not at all. No.
Well, kids, pull up a chair. I'll tell you all about it.
I love how you drop
cool.
totally into.
I just found this.
Oh, look at that.
Keep
Are you preparing to go to New York?
Get me that sword, you feckless boob.
Now I'm jealous.
I just realized it was there. I was like, oh, because I move stuff around. Like Leo knows, I kind of have like a little bit of a new setup going on with my my computer here. So everything for the looks to you guys the way it usually. I'm broadcasting from the void, but in all honesty, there's a lot less space being taken up here, and it's like that face mask was clearly behind a monitor for like 8 months. Like, oh, Skeletor, old buddy, I hardly got a chance to wear you. Like, seriously, it's basically brand new.
Beastman, what are you doing?
Beastman, what do you think you're doing, stupid?
Nothing, Skeletor.
My favorite was all you feckless boob.
Have you seen the little segments of the Flash that they've been dropping? They dropped a new one today.
Has it been released in theaters by this point? Like fully released?
No. That fully released is next Thursday, which is when
I know. I have Velvet's going to see it next Tuesday as a
he's seen like one of the last preview screenings, which like honestly for me, I don't know that I'd want to see like a preview screening at this point.
Yeah, because
all the preview screenings do not have everything that's supposed to be with the theatrical release, the stinger ending and everything. So I'm going Thursday. Like I didn't even bother looking up what was in the area to try to, sneak my way into a free sneak preview or anything. No. Everything I was reading, like, oh no, there was nothing. They literally told us like, oh no, that's not attached. You have to go see it when it comes out.
Yeah. So, at this point, I don't want to see any more on TV of it. So I'm avoiding the interwebs. On for anything the Flash comes by, I scroll right by. I'm just I don't need to see that.
I'm actually
might want to
like,
mute their Instagram then.
I'm at peak Flash saturation right now. Flasheration, if you would.
Flasheration.
But for me, I don't need to see any more of it. Like I'm already going to see it. Like you got me. You have my ticket. You have mine and my wife's tickets. We're good. We'll see you then. So they don't need to sell me on anything else, and I don't want to spoil anything for me either. For the most part, I am seeing the rumor though that there is definitely going to be a very particular cameo at the very end of the movie. I don't know if I should say who it is.
Go for it.
Nicolas Cage.
George Clooney is Batman.
No, I heard that too. The nipples and the nipple car.
Like straight up. I guess he's supposed to be Bruce Wayne / Batman or whatever in wherever it is Barry ends up, and he catches up with him. And he's like, "Wait a minute, you're not." Yeah, he's like all tuxed out like Bruce Wayne going to an event or whatever, and he goes, "Wait a minute, you're not Batman." And I guess he like looks around like, "What the fuck did this kid just tell everyone I'm Batman?" And I guess it kind of ends like on a semi like, oh shit, Barry still kind of needs to make his fucking way back home kind of deal. Maybe. But I also heard that there's like a funny after credits stinger, which doesn't necessarily lead into anything, but it involves Arthur Curry. Yeah, so Jason Momoa showing up, which that's cool. I can dig it.
Yeah,
That would make sense too, considering that the only people from the entirety of the Justice League, that have like the movie that have shown up together in anything were Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller, where Barry proceeds to bust Arthur's balls and say like, dude, I know you fuck fish. Like, it's not a joke. It's not funny because it's true. Like, the truth isn't funny. It's just the truth. And he's like, I will fuck you up, Barry. Like, stop telling people I fuck fish. I don't tell people that you fuck fish. They know you fuck fish because, I mean, look at you. Like, it's great stuff. It definitely is the kind of shit that I could see going on in a, like, Keith Giffen, DeMatteis Justice League comic book in circa 1992.
Oh, fun. What's the line from Splash? Haven't you ever seen somebody who fucked or slept with a fish before?
Is that the line from Splash?
Yeah, I was like,
Splash? No, Splash. When
with
John Candy and
John Candy and
yeah,
Daryl
but when
Hannah, Tom Hanks
comes into work
Ron
and they're
Howard.
like, "What are you staring at? You ain't seen anybody who slept with a fish before, or something like that?"
I will be
Did
100%
I see the wrong
honest.
movie?
No. Here's the
no,
thing. I
just-
have not seen Splash
since it came out.
since 1987, give or take.
It's one of those ones that stuck in my head out of the very few. It's not a good one, but it's there.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, as a kid, we recorded it off of the Disney Channel. That was before it was, you know, commercialized and everything. So, you know, I think it was one of the ones they showed later at night. So maybe they showed Daryl Hannah's butt. I don't know. But I remember watching it. My mom, like, kind of liking it. But as a kid, like, I was just like, okay.
All I
Sure,
can remember
it's
from
no
that
big.
movie is John Candy's character looking up people's skirts on some boat when he was a kid.
Jesus. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, but
It was
I
a
remember
weird
it's a movie.
Yeah,
I know
there you go.
That's about
I
it.
know that Tom Hanks, Daryl Hannah, and John Candy were in it, and that it was directed by Ron Howard. I can tell you all of that.
Yeah, and the guy from Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, I love
Eugene
him.
Levy-
He's always
Eugene
trying
Levy?
to prove
John Levy, yeah.
Yeah.
He
He was
plays
the
the
best
bad
part of
guy,
the
I believe,
movie.
or the villain, whatever. you wanna call him.
He keeps trying to prove that she's a mermaid, and he keeps catching this other blonde, and like he's hosing her down, and yeah. Then he gets his
I'm
ass
telling you,
kicked.
she's a mermaid.
It's pretty good.
Oh. He was great as one of the bad guys, one of the demon type dudes, and Stay Tuned as well. You guys ever see that? John Ritter.
No.
Really?
That sounds
familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeffrey Jones, who played the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He plays this basically a demon named Spike, and their latest scheme is to get people to sign contracts, which in essence trade their soul for like the dopest cable and big screen television setup you've ever seen, with all kinds of channels and stuff that nobody else has. But what happens is it actually, the satellite dish they set up out back in the people's backyards, they spin and they suck the people through and into the world of that television, and it's all basically hell. And they have to suffer through it and try to survive until they're killed. And as soon as they die, their soul goes right to the bad place. It's a comedy. I can't stress that enough. It's not like a fucking horror movie. Although, what an interesting horror movie that would have been, especially if it starred Jeffrey Jones and John Ritter as the bad guy and one of the protagonists. The main character, John Ritter, he's married to he gets sucked in with his wife, who's played by Pam Dauber from Mork and Mindy.
Oh,
she played Mindy. And their kids are played by one of the son is the only other thing I've ever seen him in was Swing Kids, or or Disney's Dancing Nazi Teens.
I do remember that.
Yeah. What was it? Robert Sean Leonard was in that one as well.
Swing Heil.
Swing Heil. Yeah. Sorry, that's not like that's not a Hitler thing. What we just said.
No.
Yeah.
That is all about them actually standing up against the National Socialist Party, the German Socialist Party, because there were kids that just wanted to go out and fucking swing dance and listen to good music. And of course, the Nazis was like, no fun. There will be no fun whatsoever. We will make sure of it. The first thing we do. Where's all the funny people? Get them together.
I'm sorry.
That was a great movie. It had some very poignant parts.
I can just visualize.
Yeah, I mean that's me making fun. It's like that. There was an interview Robin Williams did where like he was in Germany and they asked him to comment on the world view of Germany, and for any contributions to arts, they're very often looked over in regards to comedy. And his response was, well, do you think maybe it wasn't the best move to start off the century by killing all of the funny people in your country? And the interviewer turned like the color of my hat.
Yeah, probably not the best thing to bring up.
Hey, fucking more power to him. Hey, listen, if they had a good sense of humor, they'd laugh.
Oh, yeah.
That's a double-edged sword.
If you're gonna hit on John Ritter, can we jump real quick just because he was so amazing?
I've never hit on John Ritter in my life because I've never
you
met
should
the
have.
man.
It could have turned out
But
well.
if I had been near him, anyway, sorry.
I don't know. I think everybody watched Real Men. I think anybody who hasn't seen Real Men with him and it's either,
I was like, what?
Get the Belushi
I've seen
brothers
lots of
mixed
things.
up.
I'm a real man, damn it.
It's him and I believe it's Jim Belushi, and they're Jim Belushi is an undercover like FBI agent, and they picked John Ritter out of the blue.
I mean,
like help contact aliens, and but it is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I feel like you really buried the hard sell on that. You're like, oh, John Ritter. And he's in with Jim Belushi. But John Ritter. Okay, hold on. What was that? What was that second thing you said? You said John Ritter, mumble. I thought I heard Belushi, and then, but it's really funny.
I get John and Jim confused. Okay, I never remember which one's dead. That's horrible. And the Blues Brothers are coming here
dead
next week. Yes, I established that the other day with Rob. But Jim Belushi, so I fumbled it a little because I was saying John, and him go around and they're like trying to like save the world with all these different things with aliens, and they just have some great one-liners.
Oh no, you said Jim Belushi. I just think he's a terrible actor. He's the anti-John Belushi. He's the anti-John Belushi.
Okay, it's still a really fun movie though.
I actually have heard Real Men on a few different people's list of like funny. It's one of those like funny movies you should have seen but haven't kind of deals.
It's really I've
seen that one pop up a lot over the past like year. It is kind of interesting that you bring it up too. And now I must check it out. Leo
must.
Luther.
Yes. Send me a message. So, because I'm not going to remember.
Leo, I'm sending the message right now.
This is like 100% out of the. I've been kind of here.
Look at my eyes. I'll do Morse code while I say it. Leo, go to Pluther and put the movie Real Men on it. Dumbass. I had to take a couple extra seconds to write dumbass. Hold on. It's a longer one.
Did you get the message? Did you get that thing I sent you about?
Hey, did you get that thing I sent you?
Did you get that thing? That thing that I?
Yeah, that
did
thing.
You? Did you get that thing?
Did you get?
I sent you
that thing.
I love you, Brandon. You just.
I know exactly what you were doing. Did you get that thing?
I'm blurry.
That I sent you.
Oh, I'm back.
That's the most important part.
Who are you talking to, Kari?
Yeah.
Leo, actually.
Oh, you're talking to me? Was it
Then I was
through...
just hanging out with her.
Yeah. Then we were reminiscing about a show that you guys don't know we were reminiscing about. So
No.
Was it through Messenger?
Yeah, it was just a link to. I don't know if you guys care to see them. I just think they're cute.
Okay.
One of
yeah,
the
let me
few last things
hold on. I can pull them up.
Okay, awesome. The Spirit Halloween has made some new little horror babies, is what they're called, and I don't know if they're worth the price, but I think they're rather cute.
I get some second cousins that made some of those too.
Ghostface and Sam from. I just think they're really cute. They're like $50 though, but
they're less great now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How big are they?
Thank you, Jeremy and Yo-Yo. By the way, you guys are on it. Oh, little ghost face baby with the blood-stained knife. I mean, Sam is the most appropriate looking one, in all honesty.
Yeah.
There's no change from how the character normally looks, which I am fucking fine with. I love that movie.
Sam is adorable. They're 14 inches high by 10.1 wide and 8.6 in depth. So
I don't know if that's worth the price tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
But
Juice may not be worth the squeeze on that. Besides, I already have a Freddy Krueger candy dish. I can put right alongside my Superman candy dish. It's a weird dichotomy I got going on, but I contain multitudes, so whatever.
Yeah, those are my toys. I thought. Just
I like
seeing
the
that they
Sam
came
one
out,
a
I was like,
lot.
oh.
Yeah, that Sam one is really cool. The
You know,
Spirit
like
of
it's closer to-
Sovereign.
It'll go on sale.
Yeah, wait
Oh, yeah.
till it gets closer to Halloween, and then I can pick them up.
Pick it up
$3
November
off
1st.
on October 30th. Ooh, my time is now. Tonight I strike.
Oh God, now you have Les Mis going through my head. Thanks.
Les Mis. Anybody watch caught up and watched the last of season 3 of Ted Lasso?
No.
Yes.
All right. This is not going to ruin anything if you haven't seen it. It's out of context. But Leah, you've seen it, so you'll understand, especially since we just had Les Mis referenced. Yes, it's exactly like Les Mis. I stole a loaf of meth.
A loaf of meth.
I almost pissed my pants when I heard that line because did not anticipate it whatsoever. Didn't see it coming. I was like a deer in headlights. It was wonderful. But anyway, enough of that palaver.
I heard they're in question about whether this is the last season or not.
I thought it was the last season.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And I'm fine with it being the last season. Listen, it's okay for things to end, gang.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it really
go on
is.
forever in perpetuity.
It really is, though. I feel like maybe if, in all honesty, if one is so inclined to get upset when there is resolution for a series finale, then you know what? Maybe they should start making more series that have more open endings, so there's nothing definitive, and you can live on the other side of the coin because it's feast or fucking famine. Either way, the show that you love, unless it's Doctor Who, is never going to fucking stop.
Yeah.
Simpsons.
Or The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or The Simpsons.
we
And
can't
Futurama,
have
that's coming back.
And Family
Death
Guy
is not-
and South Park.
Oh God, I want most of those to end. Well, actually, no,
Yeah.
I just don't watch them. They can keep going
Yeah.
as long as they want. Just as long
I was
as I don't. have
surprised
to
that
see
The
'em.
Flash was still going. I was like, wow.
I stopped like 2.5 seasons ago or something like that. It was so bad. I couldn't do it anymore. I tried.
Yeah, it went 3 seasons before it just kept repeating itself, and I was just like, the first season and the second season were epic, and then third, fourth season just went into repetitiveness.
Yeah, there were certain things that I just didn't. I just didn't like as the show went on. And honestly, I'm very okay with that being the end of the CW / Arrowverse.
Yes.
Because Superman and Lois is separate from that altogether now. Like Superman is the only superhero on his world, and it's all because of Crisis on Infinite Earths. But yeah, like the Flash probably overstayed its welcome by about 3 seasons. And I still think that's being a little generous, but CW and WB slightly before it, they saw that if they were able to stretch their dime as much as they could with some of these superhero shows, they could get a long-lasting franchise for syndication on numerous other stations throughout the country for years and years to come. I mean, Smallville was on for 10 seasons, Arrow was on for 8 seasons, Flash was on for 9. I mean, all of these shows, the vast majority of these shows hit well past 100 episodes. So, they were rolling around and fucking laughing like Demi Moore after a night with Robert Redford in Indecent Proposal.
$1 million.
Did they all
Just
have
saying.
musical episodes though?
I think so.
I'm 100% sure.
I don't think. Did Smallville do one? I don't
No.
remember Smallville ever doing
No.
one, but
No. But
don't tempt them. They might come back just literally do that.
they did do it with Supergirl, The Flash.
oh yeah, the Flash's cast was probably the best suited for that. kind
Oh,
of
absolutely, because so many
Yeah.
of them were stage performers, dancers, and
Yeah.
singers, for crying out loud. But yeah, I mean, Melissa Benoist is no slouch herself on the Supergirl side of things. But yeah, honestly, I mean, I stopped watching Supergirl shortly after it started on the CW. I actually think that the loss of Callista Flockhart as Cat Grant in that show hurt it tremendously. Especially because Callista Flockhart was about 1 trillion times better than I ever expected her to be in that show. I actually really liked Cat Grant by the end of that first season. She was a really good character for Kara to be able to look up to, us away from the superhero side of things. And when they moved the production to Vancouver, Callista Flockhart couldn't swing that. She's not gonna move away from her family and live in fucking Canada for 7 months out of the year. Fuck that noise. People who live in Canada 12 months out of the year, like, why would you do that? But I like that in Supergirl season 2, like they made a very conscious and directed shift to really flesh out Alex's character, the sister, Alex Danvers, played by Shiloh Lee. And they had her realize that she was gay. And she goes through a little bit of self-discovery and tells her truth to her group of friends, who was basically, of course, like her family. I don't think they gave it the breathing room it deserved. They rushed through it. They took the character of Maggie Sawyer and turned her into like a real fucking piece of work, especially in regards to Alex in that show. And then they blew right past it as like a check mark on a list. And I thought that was kind of lame. Like they could have taken some story beats on that and not made it feel like they were playing catch up in order to bust through and have all of this great revelatory shit happen for this person in like almost literally like 1.5 episodes. Like that is nuts to me. I think it's great to look at something like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and how they started to deal with and develop Willow over time. that's certainly something to aspire to, but you like that is not the type of situation in life or in art, I think, that should be given the Diet RC Cola version of what it is you're looking for. You know, like that's exactly what happened with Alex Danvers in Supergirl season 2, and it was just slapshod storytelling. And I don't take offense to any of the subject matter whatsoever. That's not it. But like shitty storytelling really fucking gets me. I'm like, you guys could have done better, and the people that you were trying to give representation to deserved better than this. And instead, like, you basically like chuck something out there and you're like, see, look, we're good now, all right, and moving on. And that's exactly what it was. You know, it's sort of like the same thing as them taking Jimmy Olsen in the show and realizing when they moved from CBS to CW that they had nothing for the character to do, trying to like turn him into Guardian, like the Jim Harper character from DC Comics. And it was just absolutely fucking terrible. And it's like, we see that you're just trying to fucking like put a check mark next to an item on a list. Like, okay, we have a position for Jimmy. No, you don't. Get rid of the actor. It's okay. No one's gonna miss him except that actor's mom. And I think you can afford to lose that one viewer. Believe me. Just saying.
Oh. Pat Cooper,
who made an appearance on Seinfeld, has passed away. I feel like I know the name Pat Cooper.
Yeah, sounds.
He was on the Howard Stern show, Imus in the Morning, and Opie and Anthony.
That's why I would know him. He's Stern.
He portrayed Maciel in the Macielo. Yeah, I got that one wrong. In the movie Analyze This and its sequel, Analyze That. Stand-up comedian and a Sinatra opener.
And look at that trunk. You can fit like 3 dead bodies in there. So it's from Analyze This.
That's all I got.
I'm not terribly familiar with Pat Cooper, but my condolences to his friends and family, and to any of his fans out there. I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm sorry for the loss of comedy in the world, because we could always do with more laughs anyway.
Should that bring us to the Iron Sheik also passing, just to get those out of the way?
The Iron Sheik, the wrestler who was known over the past several years primarily for being one of the most prolifically ridiculous Twitterers out there, passed away at the age of 81.
See, him also, I knew a lot. Yeah, especially out of wrestling. Like that is a ripe old age. But he was on the Stern show a lot too, when probably like 10 to 20 years ago, and he was just hilarious. The characters that they had him do were he's funny guy.
He's a funny guy, and you hate to see it.
And he was a good wrestler. I watched wrestling back in the 80s.
Well, didn't we all?
I think so. I think that was
not in the 80s.
My great grandma did. And that was my mom's favorite thing. Every week she'd go down and they'd go get a candy bar and go up and watch with her with Graham. They'd like sit down and watch pro wrestling, and Graham believed it was like, she knew that she would like pretend like, oh, it's all real. I didn't realize that it existed that long ago, that it was that big of a thing. But
I mean, pro wrestling is like been around for a while. I mean, you got legacy wrestlers out there in the circuits. I mean, Rey Mysterio Jr., Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yep.
Oh no, I mean, like, this was going on in the 50s,
him in
60s. When she was watching.
Why can I never remember his name? It's impressive to see guys break out. Even guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. God damn, I'm not
Dave Bautista.
Yeah, like these guys are like showing how good of chops they have.
I did not know he was a wrestler.
Dave Bautista?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched wrestling since the 80s. So.
I tried again when my kids were young. My son Jeremy. It was.
I feel like you had just said this like one of the last episodes. Too. Yeah.
Yeah, it became very over sexualized and stuff like that. So, and trying to jump back into storylines and stuff
it was
like
just
that, very difficult.
It was just too much seeing Jake the Snake on the stripper pole.
My like second cousin's kids who I used to babysit are the Miami Sweet Heat female like team wrestlers, and it's so weird seeing these. Like, he was a wrestling coach in high school, and I used to see these little itty bitty girls, and now they're like all buff and like throwing things around, and it's really strange. Like, I've watched a couple of things.
Oh my God, what happened to you? It's called puberty, working out, and human growth hormone.
Yeah.
I mean, they're H.
I'm just like the Hulk, only instead of gamma, it's steroids. The tricky thing is it shrinks your testicles, but I got a trick. I don't have testicles. Like, okay,
I do now.
I mean, okay, Shannon, we get it. Like,
yeah. Hey, I used to send you to your room.
Kelly's mustache is really grown in thick, huh?
Oh, I'm just kidding.
You think that's something you should see Bethany out drink the coach?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I finished Yellow Jackets, and I watched Shazam Fury of the Gods.
Every single one of them built like a fucking linebacker. like Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh my God. Wearing the vest too.
Nerds. Oh shit. Yellow Jackets.
So Yellow Jackets.
Yeah,
are we all
Awesome
caught
Kingdom is now in my head too.
Yeah, you're
Thanks
welcome
for that.
Yeah. So help me, Jesus. Like, oh man, what a moody song. Oh, wow. I don't think I ever actually listened to the words to this song in the 90s when I was younger. Oh, wow. This song is really fucked up. Like,
yep.
I never paid attention to it before.
Raz actually opened for them on a couple of different, like on a tour or two, and the song is based on like a true story that happened. Yeah, and I didn't actually have it stuck in my head because things like the Flash in the intro, I just skip over all of that. So I missed some of the music in the shows because I can't actually watch it.
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
But but after you mentioned it, I was like, I didn't know the name of it, so I looked up, and now it's been stuck in my head ever since.
The Toadies, Possum Kingdom.
I
it
really
can star in your head as well.
The way they ended it made it the next season. I don't feel as questioning, I guess, and I feel more going into the next season that it didn't leave me with 100 million questions. I mean, I still have a few, don't get me wrong, and I want to see like a lot more of their time up on the mountain. But
I feel like at the end of this season, there wasn't a whole lot of the confusion and that depth of like how far reaching is this thing. By the time I got to the end of the second season, it was more like, oh, well, certainly one of these individuals, at least one of these individuals, should consider changing their name to Sunny, because they were fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, there's no fucking way. I honest to God, like,
there's no redemption.
Like, there is no redemption for sure. That
Dude, I'm telling you. Yeah, the Shauna character especially. I'm just like, oh, like, where do you go from there?
That's the sad thing is, I was watching this, and I mentioned before, I watched this like as a show, but also kind of trying to be like, okay, I'm a girl. I was in high school. I had friends and stuff, but they weren't quite, and it was around the same time, like within a couple of years difference of when they were supposed to be there. But we didn't have people who were quite as nasty as some of the mean girls were. And I initially was like, oh, Missy's really cool. I was pretty bookish. What the fuck is wrong with her? And then, you move on to the next person. And it's like, I can't say exactly on the mountain perhaps, but I identify with Shauna the most out of the ones that we see. Like I was more of the
oh yeah, I totally get that. I mean, they certainly direct the story in that way. I mean, we are supposed to be really sticking, I think, through Shauna's mess, as it were. She's the glue that holds the whole narrative together, I think. So I think you're absolutely 100% right on the nose with identifying primarily with her.
Her husband wins best husband ever.
That dude loves the shit out of her.
I would have been gone.
That's bizarre.
I'd have been like, that is it. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You found the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm out. I am call the car dealership. I am Audi 5000. Deuces.
See, what is Juliette Lewis's young character, or what is her name at all? I can't remember her name right off.
Juliette Lewis.
Natalie.
Yeah.
Natalie. Yeah, I was kind of a cross between her and Misty and Shauna as a kid. I was like the nerd kind of goth-ish girl thing. You can imagine that. And then, just nice to everybody, but didn't really stand out. And then, but Juliette, wow, did she age hard?
Yeah.
And she does a really good job. I mean, she's the perfect cast for that character. But
it's uncanny how close their voices match.
Oh, and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Is the voice
fucking
makes
freaks me out.
That connection like nobody's business. Like that young actress playing young Natalie, like she is talented, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, I haven't even thought of it, but I feel like I should look up interviews with her because I'm curious as to what the quality of her voice is outside of the show. Like, is it that, or is that part of her performance? I'm gonna have to look that up after tonight's episode because honestly, she is definitely like one of my favorite parts in the past, like in the Rockies. But yeah, there's some shit going down, and I'm at a point now. I'm on the exact opposite end of causation within my own head for everything that went down at the end of season 2, where I was at the end of season 1. Because season 1, I really was leaning full blown like supernatural, like I'm getting some real heavy like Lost kind of vibes from this, and not like the bad later seasons of Lost, but like early, like whoa, this is some heady shit Lost. And then by the end of season 2, I was like, meh, okay, so this is actually like a lot of PTSD.
Oh yeah.
Mixed with an already existing psychosis within one of the members group members, and likely all heightened. Well, one for sure that was diagnosed.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like she literally took medication until they crashed there, and then she's the one that becomes the fucking cult leader essentially. But the Great Gazoo, and then but then likely all of that heightened by probable Pika, which is a distortion of reality and perception brought about by the consumption of human meat, human remains. Yes. And stuff goes down on the sing it from the mountaintop. It's not a great
Donner
scene.
Party of Four.
Yes, Alfred Packer would have some words of advice on how to cook things for them, I'm sure. He was tried for cannibalism in the Donner Party situation. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you'd know more about that if you checked out Matt Stone and Trey Parker's movie Cannibal the Musical, available from Troma. He actually did it was his very first movie. He made a musical out of the Donner Party tragedy, the first ever trial for cannibalism against Alfred Packer, in which Trey Parker wrote like the whole damn thing, and then also he directs it and plays Alfred Packer, the main character of the movie, and it's all about like his trial, and they sing and do all this shit through flashback because he's like, this is how we all ended up there. And you get a lot of the usual players that you see with him showing up as voices on South Park or in other movies like Orgasmo that he did, like Dien Bahar. He played Shota Boy in Orgasmo, and one of the reporters in Cannibal the Musical is like a bunch of voices in South Park, shows up in a couple of other things. But yeah, one of the best parts, one of the funniest parts about it to me was the first time I saw it, the guy playing the judge at the trial for the main character is Trey Parker's father. And his name is Randy Parker. It turns out Trey Parker's real name is Randolph Parker III. So that's where he got the Trey from.
I have a Trey in the family for the same reason.
Yeah. So he's Trey Parker. Dude, his dad, Randy, is a geologist.
Studies rocks.
So he's a rock star.
Has dark hair with a dark mustache.
Does his boss also have to be in
a cleft chin?
Oh man.
He made Randy Marsh based on his own fucking father.
Okay.
On South Park. It is
That's what I was missing.
Hilarious. Dude, like I couldn't believe
great.
it. Yeah,
that's fucking hilarious.
Unbelievable.
That's like, a great like ode to dad too. That's just like, it's kind of a knock, but also like, I love you, Dad.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's just so funny. If you type in Randy Parker on Google, like it'll pop up Randy Parker, geologist, Trey Parker's father. That's freaking hilarious. Randy Parker, Trey Parker. There we go.
So back to Yellow Jackets, though. I'm with you that we got rid of a lot of the mystery stuff. Like I'd mentioned in the chat that it kind of had a Pretty Little Liars vibe going for me for a short period of time with the who's sending these things, who's doing these things, and then it's kind of like, oh, that's done. I hate watched it because I was like, I need to know who in the fuck is actually doing. Oh, this person, no, this person, no, this person. And then the very end was the worst thing ever.
Well, the way they portrayed the fucking romance between that young girl and her teacher, and it was fucking
the other
gross.
Young girl and somebody's dad, and the other young girl and a doctor, and
they glorified it all, and it was just very, I don't know, it was like I was grossed out by that show.
Yeah, it was like everybody
kept watching though for some reason.
Just real quick, just to show you real quick what I was talking about. This is Randy Parker in real life, and you can see exactly how Randy Marsh was based off of this man's face in that cartoon. All right, sorry about that. I will get it off the screen now. Like, I've had it in my head for years. You guys can have it in yours now too.
Sorry. But I'm still curious about things like, and this isn't a spoiler at all, because if you've seen any of the show, or even if you haven't, it's just there. I want to know where the symbol came from, because it's there when they arrive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something you can.
I mean, it was there when they arrived, but here's the thing: like that literally just could have been something that somebody else made, like that they had been drawing or carving for years on a bunch of different things, like using as their own marker. It may have no real significance, but when you consider the situation that they find themselves in and their increasing state of paranoia and like mass psychosis, they may be assigning a far greater meaning to it than there really is. You know, it's sort of like the contents in the box that Tom Hanks doesn't open in Castaway. You know, it takes on a very like significant meaning, even though to somebody else it was like some bullshit that was mailed back to them from Russia. Like it's fuck all. I mean, granted, I love like the FedEx commercial or wherever it was where it shows him like return the thing and he's like, you know, just so I can know. I mean, I held on to that for years on an island to deliver to you. What was in that package? And she's like, oh, no, nothing really big. Just a bunch of packets of seed, a whole lot of like desalination tablets for salt water, a life raft with a pull tab, and a satellite phone. And I was like, you know what? If they had actually ended Castaway with that, it would have skyrocketed
fucking hilarious
to the top of my list for one of
movie.
the most insanely absurd movies of all time. Like to end everything that's built up so dramatically on that goofy ass note, I'd be like, you know what? That actually is life. it would be exactly like, oh, cool. So literally the only package I didn't open was the one that could have gotten me off that island inside of a week. A week. Cool. I was there for 1.25 U.S. presidential terms. So I got that going for me, which is nice. My best friend was a volleyball that I watched float away before a ship saved me.
I don't think I'm going to watch that either.
I've been thinking about drowning myself ever since. Like, sounds like you had a good time in your tropical vacation, pal.
Never travel with Tom Hanks. It just always leads to bad things.
Get stuck in an airport for 10 years.
Well,
it doesn't sound like he was doing a lot of traveling then.
Well, on that note, we should wrap things up. We'll end it on a happy note.
Oh, you don't want to end it on a sad note?
How about a medium note?
A medium note? All right, sure. Well, Welcome to Derry is getting ready to start doing its thing that's going to be coming out on HBO. I'm sorry, Max. And it's supposed to be some kind of prequel-esque series for the character of It/Pennywise in the township of Derry, the fictional township, I should say, of Derry, Maine. I honestly am perplexed by this concept in its entirety. The only way to me it would make sense is if they were basing it off of and this is coming from someone who has read the book many times. I'm probably up in double digits for the number of times I've read the book It. I'd be more impressed if it had anything to do with the history of the town that had been amassed by Mike Hanlon's father ever since he had been stationed in the army and was there in the army barracks in Derry. That's how he decided he was going to stay in that town. Mike was the historian of the group, not Ben, as they showed in the 2 movies that were released. Ben was the architect. He worked on building like the underground like clubhouse, and Mike was the one that knew all this crazy stuff about Derry throughout all the different like eras of this Pennywise type character showing up. That's how they figured out the cycle of the entity. If they wanted to do some kind of anthological series where it shows like a story in a different era at different points. Like you could do like a season of like 6 episodes that takes place, with Native Americans being the community that Pennywise is going after and how it would appear, and like maybe that's how we see the creation of the ritual of Chud as it takes place in the book, and how they kind of touch upon it in the movie, but they don't even have that to base this idea off of, because they never gave Mike proper shrift as a fully fledged character in either one of those fucking movies. Like they completely sidelined him and they took his fucking superpower, like his planeteering, and fucking gave it to Ben. I don't get it. It's like the same Beverly. They turned her into a fucking damsel in distress, where she was arguably the toughest of all 7 of those fucking kids. Like she's the reason they were able to defeat the fucking creature when they were kids. Nobody else but Bev. And instead, the fucking out of the innumerable amount of children that this cosmic entity has consumed without prejudice, and Beverly Marsh is the one person that it doesn't kill immediately. All right, if you say so. But yeah, I guess a lot of people are
plot armor.
What? Yeah, you ain't lying, bro. But it is gearing up. I'm probably gonna check it out just because I'm curious as to the approach. But there has been a lot of talk and some excitement about that, so just worth mentioning. Fun little horror tidbit. So how's that for your happy
I have questions for you after that.
What's that?
No, just after the show. It's nothing that.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
Oh,
no, yeah, no. I'm not gonna get. Really, I was trying to wrap up. This would take a little bit, so no.
Okay.
I've got time.
yeah. Well, we'll wrap it up. Everybody knows where to find me, but we'll throw it over to let's see, Jar Jar.
You're right there, right above me. I'm Jar Jar Jeremy. You can catch me every week with Leo on Splash Pages, which is Tuesdays night at 8. If you can't check us out at that time, check us out on YouTube. Give that old video a like at Splash Pages. You'll hit like, subscribe. You'll leave a comment saying how much you either hated or liked the show. I mean, I don't want to tell you what you're going to do, but that's what you're going to do. And then after that, you can check us out on Still Token next Wednesday. We'll be interviewing Eddie Deason. That'll be fun. And then next Wednesday at 9, I'll also be on this show again. And then watch, rinse, repeat the next week after that.
Awesome. Yo.
St. Laurent on Instagram. Make it short and sweet, like every week.
Love it.
You talk so much.
I know.
Listen, Yo-Yo is about quality and not quantity. He's a man of few words, but oh boy, and those words cut like a knife. Hi, everybody. I'm Powerful Brandon. Thanks for tuning in tonight. If you feel so inclined, come on over to Facebook and check out the group Powers Combined. We're a consortium of geeks, nerds, dorks, and the like, where we share news, memes, info, good times, and laughs to be had by all. Our number one rule there is don't be a jerk. If you violate that, you will be booted immediately. You want to check out me on social media. I'm on Instagram at @thisbrandonhaspowers and Twitter at @brandonspowers. You can also check out a couple of other shows I do in addition to this one weekly on Wednesday nights. Every Sunday, you can check out one of 2 episodes that switch off bi-weekly, the first of which is the Dork Night podcast, which includes myself, Leo Pond, and our good friend Justin Cooper, in which we have a couple of guys who absolutely love Batman and all Batman-related things, all the Batmania you can handle. And talking about it and getting into the nitty gritty of all of it. And then the other guy is me, who laughs at the stuff that is fucking ridiculous. It's a great time. And then the other side of it is Comics Paradox, in which Leo, Justin, and myself, talk about what ifs from Marvel, Elseworlds from DC, all kinds of alternate reality tales and takes of different stories and characters you may already know and love, and just dissect and discuss all of that. There's a lot of good stuff, and then also we call them as we see them, with how ridiculous some of the things we see in there are as well. And you can find those Sundays switching off wherever fine podcast or broadcast.
Kari.
Hey, everybody. I have officially made it into the Dorkening, so you will be seeing me here more often. And when you don't see me here, you can find me over at the PBDC Collective Network. I do shows for a brand called the Owlite Society, and we're all about storytelling. We do shows on Sundays. This Sunday, we have a campfire setup going on where we'll have some people on, just kind of everybody telling stories, and then go through, analyze them just a little bit. Sunday after that, we'll have Carissa Grant, who has been on this show before, unwrapping her Kickstarter. It's going to be launching on the comic itself is going to be launching on the 20th. So 2 days before, we're going to open up and see what all the Kickstarter merch was and stuff. And to find out information about that, just go to psychobunnydc.com, and that will give you links to all of our websites, all of the people that we've interviewed and stuff like that. And that's all
Awesome. That will catch you all later.
Have a good night, everybody.